Welcome to the Kdrama Show. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Kim.
We're here to unpack your all-time favorite Korean dramas and chat about all the reasons that we find these shows so charming.
And so addictive. And we know you do too, so settle in with some ramen and a boba tea while we dive into the Kdrama Show with Ashley and Kim.
We're back. Woo! Guys, it's season 3. What happened? What is going on?
I don't know, it'd be nice if my notes would open.
There we go. Yay!
I did it.
I did it!
So, with the changing of the seasons, a couple of, changes to the show format, I think. Nothing mind-boggling. But,
Crazy, yeah.
Starting with typically would start with our Ashley T segment, but we've kind of decided to take a different direction with it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. Be more on Instagram, more reels, just because by the time I get everything put together, which is all in the whole Instagram video, everything I come up with is cold by the time you hear it, just because of our crazy schedules, and we record in bulk, usually more than one episode at a time.
Yeah.
And so, very upsetting when you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, that happened 3 weeks ago. That's
on a good day.
On a good day. That's boring now.
Yeah.
So yeah, now the tea will probably primarily be on just Instagram. Maybe try to throw in some random things just because we are still living in today as we record. There are things that we're just going to talk about because I am me and I will find out the most random information and I have zero self-restraint.
But for the current tea, head on over to the Instagram right now and you'll be able to see what is
currently happening
as of today, as of the time that you're listening. So
not when we're recording.
Go.
Because
this is so meta. It's like we're talking to the future people now.
About the past. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on is I need to go to bed. Okay. So did you want to tease the tea?
For today, for the real time for us right now, which you can go back and look, I need to actually go make that recording now. Oops. As of right now, the headline that I had seen was SM Entertainment, which is a big brand for K-pop groups. One of their groups, NCT, which is one of Kim's first and favorites, I believe, right?
Second.
BTS
favorite. Is actually my first.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Lucky. Anyway, one of their members posted a phone number on a social media site because they continued to call him and text him, and he said, if you don't, you need to leave me alone. I'm putting your number out. Go away. Just, leave me alone. And so SM Entertainment was apologizing and saying, hey, don't go after this person because apparently this person thought it was his friend's number or her friend's number, whatever. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole thing going on there.
I told Ashley, I highly doubt that they thought that was their friend's number. You don't just call and call and call and then be told it's the wrong number and continue to call that number.
What do we know, though? But I'm a little skeptical.
To call a celebrity into the point that they're going to post my number on social media
right?
and I receive death threats.
That sounds horrifying.
I don't even text my own friends back. What are you talking about?
I'm lucky that
you texted me. We had a tornado, and Ashley texted me like, "Hey, you guys okay?" And text her till the next morning.
It was a solid 12, 13 hours later, and I'm just going, I hope they didn't die.
She's okay. No news is good news. I'm sorry to be that friend. I don't mean to be that friend.
Hey, I do the same thing to you, though. This is how friendship works.
Not nearly as badly. I'm that guy. But anyway.
All right. Well, do you want to introduce our...
I would love to. So, it is time for Sweet, Sweet Revenge. And not this show. Isn't there a show called Sweet Revenge?
Probably.
Googling it. There is. It's a
There
K-drama.
is.
And I've watched it. It has ChanWoo in it. Oh my gosh. That's perfect.
What a segue.
What a segue.
Unplanned.
Oh, man. Okay.
I love when we do that.
Okay, so our next show is going to be one that is one of my favorites, one of my comfort dramas. It is called My ID Is Gangnam Beauty. This show in particular does kind of go down some routes of exploring like self-harm and eating disorders and things like that. So if this is something that makes you uncomfortable or you're not really interested in hearing about, go check out our other content, some of our other seasons that we've posted. Meet back up with us for season 4 because I'm sure it'll be coming out. But yeah, so let's jump into our introductions. So this show first aired on July 27th of 2018 in South Korea. It is based off of a Korean webtoon of the same name, which I have not finished reading, but I have started, but it was like a long
So you need to restart.
Time ago. I
you
couldn't tell
decide
you
to.
anything about it, yeah. But the show was directed by Choi Sung-bum, who also directed More Than Friends, which features the actress that plays Go Ye-na, who was the girl who's like obsessed with asking out Do KyungSeok.
Oh, okay.
The upperclassman
yeah,
subway. And it was produced by executive producers Hwang In-ro, Jo Jun-hyung, and Kim Dong-hyun. There you go.
Ta-da.
So this show has received a lot of criticism. I don't know about a lot, but it's received some criticism, stating that the message of the show is pretty controversial. So Gangnam Beauty is actually a derogatory term in South Korea for a person that is attractive but looks as though they've had undergone a lot of procedures or had work done to obtain either a pretty face or a good body, figure, or both. So Gangnam is actually the 3rd largest district in Seoul, covering a total area of 15 square miles and a population of over 560,000 people. That is dense.
That's a lot of
That is
people
a
in
lot
very
of people.
small area.
Yes, they built up, not out. Interestingly enough, like that was like an impoverished area like 50 years ago, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that sounds right. From True Crime, that sounds
Yeah,
right.
from,
That's from
Rotten Mango's review of that mall that crashed there. Go check out her stuff. It's very fascinating.
She's
but
awesome.
Trigger warnings right and left.
So many. so many.
So Gangnam-gu is Seoul's upscale modern center, home to gleaming skyscrapers, designer brands, and stylish nightclubs, where big-name DJs spin techno and house. Dining options span high-end restaurants to bars serving fried chicken and soju rice wine. Starfield Coex Mall draws visitors to its aquarium, while Seoul Arts Center has a design museum and a theater. Buddhist temple Bongyeonsa dates to the 8th century. This is straight off of Google. I have no idea. There's a lot going on there. So you may have also heard of Gangnam because of Psy's Gangnam Style back in July of 2012.
Yeah. Oh, that was after I graduated high school. But that was the first K-pop song I know I ever heard that broke into
K-pop
the world.
on the map.
Yeah,
that put K-pop on the map way back in the day, kind of as a meme, and now it's obviously less ironic.
Oh yeah.
But Psy's still putting out some really good stuff. He just did something with Suga not too long ago, right? Or is it V?
Well, he did that with Suga.
Yeah.
Before he enlisted. Which massive hit. But actually, Gangnam Style has hit over 1 billion views on YouTube.
I think I knew
this
that.
year, which is insane. Like
there's only a
huge.
handful of music videos that have done that. I think Justin Bieber's Baby is one.
Probably. I was probably contributing to that as well.
I don't remember any of the others off the top of my head. Anyway,
yeah.
So our main cast, we have Do KyungSeok, who is played by ChanWoo, who is my bias.
He's adorable.
He is a 97 liner, so he's a Korean singer and actor. He is featured in the band called Astro, which is actually how I first found out about ChanWoo. So I knew about the band before I knew about him as an actor. So go check out Blue Flame and Crazy Schmexy Cool. Those are some of my favorite songs. The band actually tragically lost one of its members named Moonbin to suicide in April of 2023. He also starred in True Beauty, which is another drama based off of a webtoon, and I actually read that entire webtoon. And as I was reading it, I was like, man, they need to make this into a show. And as I was reading, I was like, I would love for ChanWoo to be the main. I can't even think of his name off the top of my head right now.
And then he was.
Just goes to
manifesting
show you.
right there.
Yes. But he has also been in A Good Day to Be a Dog, and Rookie Historian Go Ryung, which I also like. I enjoy. And then Ashley probably knows this, but he's also part of the 97 line chat that includes GOT7's Yogyum, 17's Mingyu, and BTS's Jungkook.
Yep.
And then I forgot to add the rest of them. So I will catch them up here. Ready? Oh. Anything you would like to say before we jump in?
After watching episode 1, I'm very unsure how I feel so far.
Good.
So unsure. This is her sweet revenge.
12 episodes going, are they going to age her up? Are they going to age her up?
Is this ever going to happen? You lie.
I don't feel bad. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There were things about this that it made me very uncomfortable. I was kind of sharing that with you at the beginning anyway.
And it's supposed to, like, honestly. You're supposed to feel uncomfortable in your skin as she feels uncomfortable in hers. So it checks out. It's keep watching.
Okay. I'm trusting you, Kim. Don't lead me astray.
All right, with that in mind, episode 1.
Episode 1. Okay.
Do you want to start? You want me to start?
I'll start. I don't have a lot of notes because this is also my first time watching it because I just was trying to figure out what was going on.
Fair enough.
Just like how you felt with Goblin, and you're just like, what is happening?
Listening back to some of the things that I was saying before I finished the show, I'm like, did I even watch that episode?
What was happening there?
Well, the one where they show episode 11, or episode 10, where they finish the episode showing you that King Yo is Reaper. I'm like, who's that guy? Is that the older brother?
I don't know who that's supposed to be.
And I did not realize that shot was of Reaper until I went back and watched it at the very end and was like, why would they show that to us if that wasn't... Yeah, it was him. He just looks so different with his little mustache.
The hair and the costume.
It was impressive. And I need new glasses.
It's okay.
Okay.
Episode 1. So we open and we're on a subway. And we watch this woman get onto the subway and it takes off. And we see another woman who's hiding her face and just like hanging on. And she begins to, like, she's looking at the woman that just got on. And she's like naming off these procedures that would be plastic surgery procedures that she's done to her face and is rating them like 70 out of 100, 85 out of 100. And she looks at these other people around her and she's doing the same thing. And like as she's walking, like when she gets off the subway, same thing. Anybody she sees, they had this done, I'm giving it a 60 out of 10 or out of 100, or, again, 85, 90, whatever it is. And as also she's walking off, we see these massive billboards and it is advertising for plastic surgery. And instantly I was like, no, I hate this so much. But also you and I have talked about this in the past of the beauty standards in South Korea compared to especially where we live, where it's just like, you know what?
You ugly.
And frankly, it's not my problem. So, like, without being mean, but it made me very uncomfortable of just, like, knowing that that's a reality. So, like, instantly I was like, I hate this so much.
Yeah.
It was very, very unsettling for, like, just to see that as just, like, a shove down your throat. But then we're in a doctor's office, and we see two people sitting there as this doctor is explaining the risks, what the procedure is going to be. And one of the characters is hidden behind this big computer screen, so we don't actually see her face. And then we see this woman, and she looks down, and she's signing over parental consent for a minor to receive plastic surgery. And I hated it. I honestly almost shut it off, other than I was like, I know I promised that I would watch this show, because I was like, how?
It's actually a very common practice, or I should say, rather, it's not an uncommon practice for families to gift their daughters plastic surgery procedures upon graduation. I think the rate of plastic surgery, the last time I looked, amongst women in Korea is about 50% or more.
Which just...
That's mind-boggling.
Is insane. So I already don't like this character who is saying, yes, my child can have surgery. I don't like it. I mean, I'm not judging, but it makes me very uncomfortable that you're letting somebody whose frontal lobe has not fully developed make such a massive, impactful decision.
Permanent,
yeah.
Decision.
And then what made it so much more uncomfortable for me was this mom is hugging her daughter and walking her to the door to go into surgery. It was like, I love you. And the daughter goes in for surgery and, is being told, you can't be crying. And she just goes, you got this, MiRae. Fighting. And I was just like, that's what you're telling your child? I wanted to flip a table. I felt like baby raging. And I was, I'm hating this so far.
We were 2 minutes into the show.
I know. But I did not like that. Tell you how I really feel.
So did you want to keep going?
No, go for it.
Right, well, we cut to the surgical theater where everything's kind of being sanitized and prepped. And as they're walking, wait. Back at I read the paragraph you just read. That's the time where I was like, wait, did you talk about the such and such? And you're like, that's what I just said.
Everybody, it's been a month since we've been behind microphones.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've been away for a whole...
I was away for 3 weeks, and then last week we were like, we need to figure out what we're doing here.
So, interesting enough, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we have yet to see her face throughout this sequence of events. On the subway, she had a mask on. In the consultation, she was behind a computer. We see her from the back when she's walking into surgery, and then they kind of blur her face out when she's going through the door. But as she's in the surgical theater being prepped, we flash back to a young girl who is just a bit overweight. She's not morbidly obese, but she's not a twig.
No.
But 3 boys approach her while she's at a food stand in the street, and they start to say, Fatty, MiRae is a pig. So we know now that this is Kang MiRae. Later, she's sitting on a swing eating a popsicle, and the same 3 boys throw her a candy bar with the pig written on it. This girl stands up and the boys back away in fear. And as they've left the playground and are rounding a corner in the street, she stops them in an alley and she sticks up for herself. She kind of takes him by the collar and is basically like, I didn't like that, and kind of, shoves him off of her, and they take off running down the street. And you hear older MiRae commenting or narrating over the top of this, saying, I was a brave girl and didn't stay quiet when the other kids made fun, but every time I fought back, they'd do something worse. And it shows that the boys have later locked her inside of a bathroom stall, and they've propped a mop against the door so she can't get out. And it looks like school has long since ended, and she's still stuck inside, sitting on the floor. And we hear the narration again. Winning isn't what the victims want. All they want is to stop being the victim. Question. Did you recognize one of the little boys in the red striped shirt?
Is that our boy from Kdrama Secretary Chem?
Yes. The older brother.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yes, please.
Okay, so...
Because I don't have as many notes. I have some, and I just am like... Because, again, I was just trying to,
You jump in whenever.
There's so much.
I got 6 pages. We flip-flopped here.
I have 2.5.
Sounds so familiar.
What is happening?
So MiRae, she decides to take matters into her own hands by exercising to become thin. And she does. She succeeds. By the time she enters middle school, she's slimmed down. She has a healthy-looking figure. And the teasing, she says, has stopped for a while. People have kind of left her alone. And we see back in the surgical theater, the procedures are continuing, but her flashbacks are as well. So MiRae, back in middle school, makes a gesture toward a boy she likes named Young-chul by creating a study guide for him, but he rejects her harshly, calling her Kang Ork. Don't you know your nickname? Tell me you were joking. If you tell anyone, I'll kill you. And he kicks the notebook away. Later, there's a class photo being taken. She hides her face behind a tree, which causes them to retake it, and everyone's annoyed with her. And they say things like she's embarrassed because she's ugly. Another time, she's seen walking past a restaurant where friends are taking photos, and a couple walk by holding hands and smiling. Her face is still blurred. We still haven't seen her. As she walks home, her shadow casts the image of an ogre onto the ground. And young MiRae climbs onto a bridge over the Han River, and you can kind of see her start to just ask in her mind, like, is this...
What is it worth it?
Worth it, yeah. It is back to present day. MiRae has completed her surgery and is standing with her mom on a mountain. And her mom says to her, focus on taking in all the good energy from the mountain so that MiRae can become pretty. And she shouts this over the cliff.
I already have said this. I don't like her mom right now. Like, that's not... You're not speaking into your child when you're doing that. No matter what you look like, you know, what your problems are, whatever it is, if you are not speaking love into your child, you're just feeding into their insecurities. And so I was like,
I have
like
seen this show many times, and that line still makes me angry.
It's maddening. Like, no matter what, like,
I
love your child.
Through the lens of Korean culture, I can see the love of a mother in the culture that they are in and the intention behind all of it. But I do think that there's obviously broken thinking there. I agree with you. But MiRae, she's got a new photo ID.
She feels pretty now.
New face.
Because she goes shopping and buys perfume. And because I noticed that she doesn't know what to do with herself now.
Right.
Because now she's considered pretty. The lady, helping
Worth
her with
people's time.
Yeah, the people helping her with their perfume must be like, oh, well, this just suits you so well because you're so pretty. And she just stares at her like, what? What? And then she looks in the mirror and is just like, oh, I'm pretty. And like, that made me sad. Because I was just like,
this is also the first time we're allowed to see her.
And yes, our first ever, but then we cut to...
Wait, I have a factoid.
Oh, factoid away.
I'm sorry.
This would always happen, and I love it so much.
You say that now. It'll be season 4. She's like, just stop.
No more Google.
No more Google. You are cut off. But the clone, she picks up the Atelier. I'm assuming it's French. Manufactured in the US and Canada. It closed down in 2022, so 4 years after this show came out. The bottle she samples, the pomelo, is now worth over $125 a bottle.
Oy.
There you go.
Fancy.
That's all I got. But it comes back into play.
Okay, perfect. So we cut to a taxi driver, and he has a passenger. And the, are you needing to butt in? Okay.
Sorry. After the shop owner has complimented her, she says, I've become pretty. The difference is really amazing. And she rates herself a 79 out of 100. And she says, because it's a bit obvious I've had surgery done.
Stop rating yourself. No. Now to our taxi driver.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, don't be. You've seen this obviously several times, so you have the stuff that I had with Goblin of like, actually, real quick.
I'm also so curious to hear it from a fresh point of view, though, because I have seen it so many times that I
sometimes you need the
things.
So our taxi driver has a passenger, and the passenger sees a picture of the guy's daughter, and he's like, oh, that must be your daughter. And he just goes on, and he's like, my daughter is so beautiful, and my daughter is so smart, and you wouldn't believe that she's so smart. And, she was top of not just her class, top of the school. Like, she didn't have to take extra classes. We didn't need to get her a tutor. He is just like bragging so hard. And he's like, I think she should have become a model. And the passenger is just like, you sure love your daughter a lot.
Yeah. What do you say to that?
Oh, good for you.
He tells the man, though, while he's bragging about all of her accolades, like, after graduation, she went to the Philippines to study English because she's just that diligent. And then he points to the photo of her, says it'd be nice for her to become a model. She looks a bit like that actress, Kim Go-eun. Did you catch that?
Yeah. Yes.
I love Kim Go-eun.
So then we cut to the college campus, and MiRae is kind of just unsure of what's going on around her because, again, has this brand new face and isn't quite sure what to do with it. And she's actually there with her best friend, Hyun Sua. Am I saying that correctly? Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm working on my pronunciation, guys. It's really kicking my butt. And her friend is like, you know what? We need to take a picture to commemorate this. Mm-hmm. And MiRae agrees, and she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's take pictures. And then they just have a whole photo shoot.
So cute.
And it was very cute. And she makes the comment, like, this has been my best friend since middle school. We don't have any pictures together, though, because I was never pretty enough, like, to want to take a picture. And as these pictures are being taken, we see, you know, a fellow student walk by, and he just kind of stares at MiRae, and she's just going, why are you looking at me? Like, she's very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And then I believe it's another guy that walks past and is like, you're totally my type. Can I have your number? And she just kind of stares at him like, what? Mm-hmm. Because she, like, goes into a fog, and her friend's just like, he's asking for your number. Like, come on. And she just goes, I don't have a phone number. And he goes, you could have just said no.
I mean, what are you supposed to think? Of course.
And she's just like, oh, yeah. And he just leaves, and her friend's like, really? You don't have a phone number? She's like, well done, girl. That was... Butter's got nothing on you. Mm-hmm. But she clearly is just very uncomfortable, and because she's always been, at least from what I know, she's always been stared at because...
Or harassed
because she's not pretty.
It is now freshman orientation, and MiRae approaches the table. The upperclassmen kind of watch her walk away, sort of with shock on their faces. Mm-hmm. And you just see the one guy go, wow. Mm-hmm. But we learn she's a chemistry major, and MiRae, she falls into her habit of rating faces. 80 out of 100, 85 if she's dressed up. Choi Jung-boon, 70 out of 100, 90 out of 100. Pretty, probably popular with the guys. And so we see this group of students that are standing there that she was rating. They take notice of her, so she introduces herself. And they ask who she is. And she says, oh, you're the one who doesn't have a profile picture, right? Because, you know, they probably had some kind of a chat set up where everyone posted a picture, introduced themselves. Right. And she opted not to put one up. So everyone kind of knew who everyone else was, except for her. So one of them asks if she is what's called an X-man, or an upperclassman that pretends to be a freshman during orientation. And she shows them her ID, confirming that she is a 99er. Everyone feels a little bit awkward, and she thinks it's because she's ugly. Yeah. She's like, they can tell. I'm just hideous. When suddenly this natural beauty floats over and introduces herself as Hyun Sua. She starts to compliment MiRae and the people around her and makes everyone kind of feel at ease, you know. And an upperclassman approaches the table and asks what all of these girls this year are like, the incoming freshman class.
Are
which
they
I
pretty?
was like,
yeah.
Gross.
Frat boy.
Yeah. But as they're having this conversation, another freshman approaches the table and casts his spell over the girls sitting at the table. He walks away without making eye contact or offering a word. Dark, mysterious, tall, handsome.
Beautiful man.
Vogue.
He may have just done a whole thing with Dior right now.
He did, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Because he was just in France.
He did.
And Italy. And Brazil. And Mexico.
I've converted her. I've created a bias wrecker.
Yoongi. Yoongi's my wrecker. I love him so much.
Okay, a non-BTS bias wrecker.
That would be true.
We transitioned to a set of charter buses, dropping off all of the freshmen to complete the orientation.
Mm-hmm.
They are watching this video filled with alumni, kind of encouraging them to do well, work hard. They portray Lucky, whose real name is Abhishek Gupta, who is an ambassador for the King Sejong Institute, actually.
Oh, cool.
Which you told me about the other day.
Yes.
If you're interested in free Korean classes,
Go
to
look
this that up.
Yes.
Then we have Lee Young-ae, who was an actress in Inspector Ku.
Okay, yeah, I've seen part of that.
I wasn't familiar with most of her other work, which is on me. I just don't have the opportunity to watch a lot of Korean film. But then, after all of these videos are done, we have an upperclassman state that they're going to move to the next location, and everyone is carrying like boxes of supplies for this party, and the guys are all kind of gunning for Hyun Sua's attention. And she pretty shamelessly flirts back, you know.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
kind of playing coy,
Well, and even before that, and this is when I was telling you earlier how I was like, I cannot stand her right now.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 1, I know. She's like bonding with one of the girls that she's carrying a box with, and it's like, oh, you're so pretty. I'm nothing like you. I have a child's body. And the self-deprecation. Here's the thing.
There's self-deprecation, like we like to do, where it's funny. And then there's self-deprecation where you're clearly mining for compliments.
Yes, you are going, tell me I'm pretty. Tell me I'm pretty.
You're so pretty.
But also, like, don't tell me I'm pretty.
It's
like,
so embarrassing. Why would you say
I can't
that?
believe you would do that. And, like, I know myself, and I think you would agree with me on this just because we're very similar in that aspect. Like, we don't handle compliments very well.
Oh my gosh, if I could wiggle out of my own skin and crawl out
Like,
of it.
that is not a continue to compliment me. That is I don't know what to do with this.
No, the other day, so I've been married for almost 8 years, right? And every time my husband would call me pretty or something, I'd just be like, shut up. Or I'd like cover my face and be like, don't say those things. And then finally, it was like 2 weeks ago, he goes, you look so pretty today. And I just said, okay. And he's like, I'll take it.
That's a win.
Isn't that pathetic?
No, because I understand. Because, I mean, we sing together.
Yeah.
And I've had people come up to me afterwards and be like, you sound so good. And I just go, okay.
My default is, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I don't have to accept your compliment, but I enjoy doing it. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
You can take my line if you want.
I'm going to. So yeah, there is a total difference between not knowing how to take them because partially we feel uncomfortable, but also just like whatever I do, however I look, whatever it is, I'm not seeking somebody else's approval. I'm not seeking attention from somebody else. And I don't want it from anybody else.
On the other hand, though, people whose love language is words of affirmation, like to give,
and
it is major
for them to give,
reciprocate that, to say thank you, I appreciate it, because to them that's their way of showing you that they love and appreciate you,
and care about
and
you.
for you to be like that can be taken, you know what I mean?
Right.
So there is grace in giving and there is grace in receiving compliments.
Yes,
I am still learning that.
Yeah, it's very hard for us to do, but what this character is doing, what Sua is doing, is she's straight up fishing for compliments from everyone around her.
Yeah.
And that rubs me the wrong way.
Tell me you like my podcast.
Tell me how good I am at this. I can just babble forever. That's actually probably true.
It's true. You're not going to want to hear what I'm saying.
Shamelessly flirting with them.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no.
It's only 9:30. We can't be doing this.
Hyun Sua is very flirtatious and soaking up all of the attention that...
In the way that girls notice, but not in the way that guys notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as they're walking, MiRae is, carrying one of the boxes, and she sees the mysterious guy from the table, and she was just like, "Oh, he's really cute. Like, he's really attractive,"
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of leaves it at that. And we go to an introduction because this is the chemistry department, so
We're spending the next 4 years together.
Right. This makes sense for you to know some of the upperclassmen, and you want these people to help you with getting to know teachers, with different projects. They can help you with resources.
And it's also kind of like a precursor to business culture.
Yes.
Like work culture in Korea, where there's the hierarchy of, I've been here longer, therefore I'm higher in the hierarchy.
Right.
Sort of culture.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway.
Yeah, there's just this is who I am. I am the president of this department. Mm-hmm. I am, I'm somebody that you can look for. I'm somebody that will take you out for meals. Just those types of things are important to know. You need to know that. But then they go, "Okay, freshman, introduce yourself." And I instantly went, I would go home. I am out.
I would go last when everyone was done listening.
Yeah, they didn't care anymore.
Exactly.
I just don't like to be in front of people. It makes me very, I've had stage fright for a long time, so I wouldn't want to just willingly go stand in the middle of a room and be like, "Hi, I am Ashley, and
I like to party.
I like to drink. Come drink with me." Which, the first freshman, that's exactly what he says. He gets up and he goes, "I'm Do KyungSeok. I like to drink, so if you want to drink, let me know." Mm-hmm. Basically. And then...
That's the handsome boy.
And then he sits down. And I instantly went, "Hey, friend. Let's go." Maybe not at your level, but...
Surprised he has a liver still. But MiRae, she seems to recognize him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she hears the name and is like...
Huh. Bells going off.
Do I know you?
Are they wedding bells? We don't know. It's only episode 1.
Kim, are you giving teasers?
No.
Spoilers.
Probably just projecting. Hyun Sua, she stands up next,
mm-hmm.
introduces herself. And everyone starts to whisper that she's the prettiest, she's going to be the most popular, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone calls out, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And she says, "No, this is embarrassing, but I've never dated anyone." And then everyone starts to shout that it's a lie. And she just gets all shy and coy and says, "The next girl here is really pretty, so I'm just going to end it here." And then she pushes MiRae up in front of everybody. And MiRae kind of panics because she's like, the way she phrased it, mm-hmm. she's implying that I'm just as pretty as Sua. And it's so obvious that I'm not a natural beauty like she is. And one of the comments one of the boys makes is, "I've never seen a girl with plastic surgery before."
Mm-hmm.
And to which ChanWoo replies, "I like girls like her." And this is the 5th year senior, right? He's overstayed his welcome in the department, and he won't leave. He doesn't have a trajectory for his life, so he's like, "I'll just keep going to school." Mm-hmm. We all know people like that. Mm-hmm. But MiRae, she introduces herself. Kind of happens to catch Do KyungSeok's gaze, and they ask her the same question. Do you have a boyfriend? She says, "No, I don't." And they say, kind of like not believing her again. But one of the students from the group of students outside the table earlier says, "Do girls like that really think they're pretty?" And whether or not she hears it, we don't exactly know, but she rushes to sit down after that. And KyungSeok, he's kind of watching her with this, almost a smirk on his face. It's really hard to read what's going through his mind, but the wheels are turning.
Yes. He's very hard to read.
As a character.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
You're just like...
There are... And I kind of hate to say this because I don't want to, influence your perception of him, but there are a lot of people that say that his acting was terrible in this.
Actually, I've heard that, when he first started. Well, yeah, when anybody first starts, it's not like they're going to be fantastic at it right away.
I also think he was doing... If you've ever read a webtoon, every pretty boy ever is just the most vanilla,
Mm-hmm.
like, sulky, kind of pouty boy, not really speaking or having a personality.
Right. They're
He's
just
doing what he
existing.
can with the source material. Cut the guy some slack.
Right. Yeah, no, I've actually read that in a few different places, that especially when he first started out, he was not great at acting, he was a terrible kisser, he was XYZ, and I was like, when you have no practice at this, you're not going to be fantastic.
How do they know he's a terrible kisser? Like an on-screen kisser?
Yeah.
Okay.
On-screen kisser. Again, how would you know? You're not the one acting that out. You don't have a bunch of people around you with cameras, with lights, with all this stuff, and trying to portray something
Yeah.
that isn't.
If it didn't
reality.
read on camera, why didn't the director say something? Anyway.
I'm right there with you.
But I'm interested as the story progresses if you still feel that.
Mhm.
I mean, do you feel that way? I didn't even ask you.
Because I feel like
It's okay if you do. I'm not offended.
no, because when he first comes up to the table, he has absolutely, other than he's just pretty,
Mm-hmm.
we know nothing about him, and I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Is we're not supposed to know a thing about him, and then we hear his name and we see MiRae go, I know that name.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that I
Mhm.
would know who this is? Who this person is?
Isn't it so interesting that he can have zero personality and everyone is gunning for his attention? And I think that is the statement that the writer was trying to make with this, is that people put so much value on good looks, and he is a turd. He is a turd in this episode.
Yeah, he's not.
And people keep trying to get to know him.
Vie for his attention.
Yeah.
Because
And
literally,
I just
segueing
think
into
that's
this next part, they break into groups
Mhm.
and they're, conversing with the people around them. And
Everyone is broken into small groups where they're drinking and sharing a meal. Sua begins to pour drinks for the Sundays.
the Sundays.
Sunday.
Sunpay.
Sunpay. But the same guy who said, do girls like that really think she's pretty? And I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
He is a recurring character, but he says to his friend, she seems to have a good personality and she's really friendly.
Yeah, that's not always a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
my guy. But KyungSeok, we see that he has zero interest in conversing with anybody, and he's just throwing back shots.
He said he liked to drink.
He said he liked to drink, and he has absolutely girls keep trying to be like, hey, ask a question, and he just could care less. He does not have any interest.
I love how Yena is like, so did you leave your girlfriend behind? And he's just like, no. And she goes, oh, you don't have one? And he goes, I don't like girls.
Shut that down real fast.
There it is.
But then in MiRae's group, she's looking over at KyungSeok and she's just like trying to place him.
Mm-hmm.
And the upperclassmen come over to start drinking with her group. And they're maddening. Because they're blatantly obvious that they have one thing on their mind, and these freshmen have no awareness of what's going on around them. Because the one is like, do you really not have a boyfriend?
ChanWoo.
ChanWoo. Yeah, he's like, are you sure that you really don't have a boyfriend? Like, why don't you have a boyfriend? And he's like, well, how about why don't I be your boyfriend? And she just like,
you want to start with a hi, hello, how are you?
what? Why are you talking to me? I don't even remember your name. Like, please stop. And then they break into these different games. One of them is a drinking game, and there are pictures of beer, and I drink beer. I would not chug a pitcher of beer. That would be so, like...
Is it carbonated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Belchy.
I put Do KyungSeok puts it away like it's an iced tea on a hot summer day.
Honestly, he does. He
like,
just
throws that thing back.
throws it back, and then like the crowd goes silent as he just like finishes it in like record time, and they're just like, "All right, get it, my dude." Mm-hmm. And I was just going, "Oh, I'd feel so sick if I attempted that."
That's how you know he has a 20-year-old's metabolism too.
Then there's that.
That many carbs in one go.
Oh. And to still be standing and knowing that you've been drinking this whole time and you're mixing.
That does not sound like a good time.
No,
Give
it's
me
not.
Some Yahtzee and some catchphrase and we'll party all night. Like it's 1999.
It's 1995.
Oh, man.
But then they do like a music game, and so they start, like the intro to a song. Mm-hmm. And MiRae knows every single song, who it is, that's singing it, the title of the song, but she has somebody else that's answering.
Jungboon.
Okay, mm-hmm. She has everybody, answer for her.
Mm-hmm.
And like their team, because they are breaking up, they're all in teams, like their team wins because she just knows the answer to. And so at the end of the night, there are 2 teams that are competing for first place, and MiRae's team is one of them. And she gets picked to be like the team leader because the final competition between those 2 is to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And she is chosen to be the team leader, and she goes outside and calls her best friend and is like, "They want me to dance. I can't do that." And her friend's just like, "No, girl, like you got this. Like, it is now time for you to show off your charms. It's time for you to be brave." Which, what a good best friend.
Well, I love that she was like, you have to do your best, because if you act shy, people will read that as you being coy, and it'll be obnoxious.
Right.
So you have to go out there and do your best, and like you were saying, like, this is your opportunity to show people that you are charming and you have something to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've given you that take it.
Do it. And what a great best friend.
Yeah.
To help her navigate this whole new world that she has no idea what she's doing.
Well, I love her, because like earlier when they were out front, when they first met at the school, and MiRae was like, "Are they looking at me because I'm still ugly?" And she goes, "Are you trying to get me to say that you're pretty? Because I'm not going to say it."
Yes. Yes. True best friends right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you're wanting, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
like,
just
stop.
get over yourself and go live your life.
And so she does. She goes out there and she dances and she kills it. Like, okay, I just hiked in Peru. I hiked the Rainbow Mountains and I hiked Machu Picchu, and that was a workout.
Yeah.
That dance was exhausting. Just watching it, I was like, how many times did that actress practice that to memorize it? Like,
do you know the after school show where they dress up celebrities in
school uniforms and
they dance? Do KyungSeok and Im Soo Hyun, they dance too. So the song, even though they kind of dub over it because copyright, blah, blah, blah,
right,
is New Face by Psy.
Oh, it is, yeah. New Face, yeah. Okay,
yeah. However it goes, yeah, that's what she's dancing to.
His dances are insane, and he does them constantly, and they're impressive dances.
Mm-hmm.
But how long does it take to, like, memorize that and have that down? That's why K-pop idols are insane. But she kills it. And
I have a weird Mandela effect with this show. With this show. Where I swear there is a scene that lasts like 15 seconds in this where after she goes back into to do her dance, they show Hyun Sua leading the other team's talent portion, and she sings a really bad song off key. I have not been able to prove this, but I'm telling you, this happened. My voice is cracking.
She's feeling passionate about it.
I'm feeling extremely passionate about it. if you know what I'm talking about, please confirm that I'm not crazy.
That I'm not losing my mind.
Otherwise, I'll just live with the knowledge that I make things up in my brain. Fun.
You gaslight yourself again?
Yeah, well.
Anyway. But as she's dancing and, she's finished her dance, or no, she's in the middle of it, KyungSeok is just watching her and he kind of quits clapping and just is staring at her. And we see a flashback of him walking up and hearing this song and a girl sitting on a bus bench, just like kind of tapping her feet along, just kind of, so it's like he's recognizing, maybe the song, maybe obviously it triggered a memory of some kind.
Right.
But then for her, she has a flashback of being in middle school, seeing a group of girls.
They're busking,
yeah. And the girls, they're dancing to this song, and so she sees it and starts to learn it and, teaches herself how to do it by, alone.
Just as well as those other girls were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Again, I can't do that. I was telling Kim earlier, I opened a door into my head yesterday.
Tell me that.
Dancing like this is not going to happen without severe injury.
Oh my gosh. Plastic bubble.
Also for you.
Well, yeah, that's fair. It's a miracle we're both alive.
Honestly.
But she says, I wanted to show people that I can do a good job too. Like everyone else, I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be loved in an ordinary way. It's round two of Soju. Everyone is smiling about MiRae's performance. And ChanWoo, he's still slinking around. He invites MiRae to take a love shot. It's a love shot.
EXO.
Okay, anyway. And when she doesn't jump up, he steps on his friend's foot to get him to start this love shot chant. And he peer pressures her into participating, which is just big blech.
Gross frat boy behavior.
He ends up forcing the drink into her hand, and then says, she seems too drunk to be trying this, Sanbae. And then finally, MiRae, she's just like, I'm sorry, I can't. And she rushes out of the room. And ChanWoo says, how dare she try to act weak in front of a senior. But after MiRae's rushed away, sweet little Jungboon, she stands up and she's like, what if we could try? Just trying to, soothe some ruffled feathers and
keep the night going.
Yeah, let's not worry about it. But she's so cute. She's one of my favorites. I love her.
She's very sweet.
Yeah. MiRae, she is outside the building saying, I wish they wouldn't make me drink. She starts to reflect on the night's events, and she smiles at the fact that everyone cheered for her after her dance, but she starts to cry when she gets a call from her mom, and her mom's just asking, how did the first day go?
How are you doing?
But she hears her crying, and so her mom's like, what's wrong? What happened? Tell me. And she just says, I'm having fun. People like me. And her mom just tells her that she's happy for her. And says, go have more fun. I have to go. I'm getting another call, and hangs up. But she's also emotional about the fact that her daughter is feeling accepted.
Having
by
friends.
Her peers, yeah. We see Do KyungSeok approached by Yena Sanbae again. Still trying to get to know him. And she flirts by, playing with her hair, showing off her neckline, And she asks him, do you want to get some fresh air? And he says no. And he stands up to leave. And she's like, where are you going? He goes, to get some fresh air. And she just goes, he's chic. How cutthroat, though. Hey, do you want to go do this? No. Where are you going? To do the thing alone without you.
I have no interest in dealing with you.
The difference between knowing your boundaries between these two characters, though,
is super dramatic.
Night and day.
So dramatic.
Yeah.
I relate to him on a whole level, though, of just no.
hey, there's no question. But as he's leaving the hall, right, he passes Hyun Sua, who strikes up a conversation with him. And she's complimenting him on his drinking skills, kind of following her, but he just ignores her and keeps walking, right? So she ends up, like, grabbing onto his sleeve like this, and she apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, I must be drunk. I'm so foolish, don't you think? Drunk after only a few shots. And just this really kind of, like, gentle, quiet voice trying to play innocent a little bit, you know?
Please
the
be
damsel in distress, exactly.
I feel so alone.
And he just...
I'm unsafe.
He, like, looks at her hand, and then he looks at her, and then he goes, Chogyo! He says, excuse me. And, like, there's 8 guys in the hallway. It just shows them all stop and turn their heads at him, and he goes, does anyone have anything to sober her up? And they all just kind of raise their hand.
When some pull out bottles.
Sprint over to her. Sua, drink this. This is best for sobering up. I'll carry you on my back. Hurry, get on. And she's just like, Ani. No, it's fine. And he just walks away. He's chic.
Savage. I love it so much.
See, you're gonna like the show. I promise. It'll be good.
Again, we'll move on. It's not the end yet.
It'll be okay. Hang in there.
It's only episode 1.
Give it some time.
I will.
It won't be as much of a love-hate relationship as Coblin was, but you're gonna struggle.
I'm gonna struggle. Okay.
So...
Well, he walks outside, and MiRae actually has turned around, and she sees that he is coming out of the building, and she's like, I don't want to deal with anybody. So she goes, and she kind of just goes, like down into, like, this little area. Where you can sit. There's some benches there. And she has gotten a message from her best friend, and she's, responding, and then, like, she asks her friend, like, hey, do you remember Do KyungSeok? Like, and then suddenly her phone rings, and it kind of scares her, and she drops it, and she picks it up and answers it, and it's her dad calling. And we see it's the taxi driver from the beginning of the episode. And he's asking, oh, I'm so sorry, like, who is this? Like, was calling my daughter. And she just tells him, oh, I'm one of her seniors. And he goes, oh, okay, well, why do you have her phone then? And she just tells him, well, we just take the freshmen's phones for orientation. It's just a rule that we have. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, like, thanks so much. I guess just let her know that I called, and hangs up. And this is when we have realized he has no idea that she has received plastic surgery.
Right.
This has all been her and her mom. And, her dad is sitting there, like, on the couch or in his chair, and he's just kind of, like, thinking about the exchange that he just had. And MiRae's mom gets home, and her dad's like, I just tried to call, MiRae, but her senior answered, and, like, I hope she's doing okay, like, but it's really funny, like, it sounded like her, but it looked like that wasn't her at all. And,
it gets tense for a second.
Yeah, her mom's just like, well, like, she's talked about wanting to get, the double eyelid surgery, and he's like, well, why would you do that?
I have strictly forbidden her getting surgery. You know I'm against it.
I don't want this for her. And her mom just goes in and hides behind the wall and just is like,
crap.
Well, I may have just dug a hole that I can't get out of.
You don't say. Keeping secrets in a marriage, it always works out really well, guys.
Sarcasm.
But you remember how he told the other guy that as soon as she graduated, she went to the Philippines to study English. So that was the pretense that they had for her being missing for the summer. And he's like, she couldn't have at least visited before she went to orientation? No.
No, because you wouldn't know who it is.
Correct.
Well, then we have the senior,
ChanWoo.
ChanWoo, yeah. I'm looking at your name because I don't have his name. I just have the senior. But, he's been harassing, he finds her and it's like, are you okay? And she's like, I don't feel very well. So he hands her a bottle of water, tells her to drink this and is like, are you feeling like, do you need to rest somewhere? Or have somewhere where you can rest? Mm-hmm. And my lights were screaming.
Well, the look on his face right before he asks her.
So sleazy and gross.
He's like the fox asking the gingerbread man to hop on his back to get across the river.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. At least the fox is cute.
Oh, no.
But it's
hard. Do you recognize him from Rookie Historian?
I haven't seen Rookie Historian.
Never mind.
So
there is a ton of cast from this show in Rookie Historian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to watch Rookie Historian. That's like on my list, but I have so many that I...
Yeah.
But like I'm saying at least the fox is cute because you can tell by the look on his face what his intentions are. The fox, they're supposed to look sly anyway, so you can't tell whether or not they're being serious. He's just being gross.
Yeah. He's icky.
And so he takes her to like a secluded apartment.
It's a lounge.
Is it like a lounge? But yeah, it's like, and he sits down and she just kind of stares at him like, he's like, oh, you sit down, make yourself comfortable. So she sits at the table and he goes, oh, does it make you uncomfortable if I'm like to sit next to me? Like, I'll move. It's okay. And clearly he's played this game a few times. And she ends up sitting on the couch and like chokes on the water and he comes and sits next to her like, are you okay? And then I was like, do you really not have a boyfriend? Like, you're really pretty. Is it okay if I like you? The answer is no. No, it's not.
Oh my gosh, like looking at your earlier dancing and playing, looking at you earlier dancing and playing games, I fell in love. And in her mind, she's like, is this a confession? And I put, yeah, to a murder, girl. Like, come on.
Yes.
She's looking at you like you're something to eat. Get out of the room.
Run quickly. But yeah, she's like, she gets up to leave because she's like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, she's like, people might start to look for me if I'm staying too long, so I don't want to be rude. I better get back. And he gets this look, like, it changes.
Yes.
Who is more interested in you than me? And he stands in front of the door and he blocks her way.
And he goes to lock it. And then suddenly he has hit the floor because the door has smashed into him from behind. Thank the Lord, because I was about to reach through the screen and just punch him in the throat. But KyungSeok walks in and goes, what kind of place is this? ChanWoo just like, well, help me up. I can't believe you did that. So he helps him up and he's like, she just wasn't feeling very well, so I brought her to a place where, she could rest and it's no big deal. And he goes, no, you weren't. You were blocking the door. And he goes, I'll forgive you because you're drunk. And he goes to leave and he looks at me and he's like, are you coming? And she just stares at him like...
He doesn't even ask, he says, let's go.
Yeah, she just stares like...
At Do KyungSeok.
Why would I... Like, what are you doing here? But also, thank you, I guess, because I don't know what's going on. And
I love, though, that when he busts in the door, after he helps him up, when ChanWoo is like, what are you doing? And he just immediately fires back, what are you doing? Like, suspicious things are happening here.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. I said, don't be suspicious. I just learned that that's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I love that show so much.
I've not watched it all the way through, but I enjoy it once in a while. It is
Andy Samberg.
Have you watched Storks?
Yes. It's been a long time. So KyungSeok asks MiRae if she's okay. And she's, tells him that, she is, and, like, you can rest here if you want to. And she begins to walk away, and he calls out her name, and she turns around and is like, yeah? And he asks her if she went to JarYong Middle School, and she just stares at him, and we get this back and forth of they're just staring.
Eye contact.
And she goes, what?
End episode 1.
End episode 1. And I was just like, what did I just see here? Because I'm so lost.
Okay. Are we doing an Ashley's Unhinged Theories? I don't know that this is really an appropriate show to do it for.
No, I don't.
We could do an Ashley's Theories if you want to predict the plot.
Not on episode 1.
Fair enough. Final thoughts.
I don't know what to think.
That's fair.
I think I've kind of expressed that throughout anyway, of like, there's so many maddening plot points already. Like, I told you, I don't like her mom.
More coming up.
Well, this is your sweet revenge. I cannot stand her mom. I mean, you lied, 1, to your husband, and 2, let's take the energy from the mountain and make MiRae pretty. Like, that's why I said, like, you're not speaking love into your child. Clearly you haven't been. There's a difference between wanting your child to succeed and wanting your child to become the best version of themselves. Yes, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, like, you want those things for your child, but to basically know that your child is insecure and feed that.
The problem
And knowing that it's a
culturally, through that lens of things, that's what she's doing. Is she's providing the best opportunity for her kid.
And that,
which is unfortunate.
It makes me upset at the culture. I mean, I don't like most of the world's culture in general.
That is why this is such a controversial.
But, I mean, you made a good point of, with it being a webtoon and KyungSeok's creature. Whew,
Freudian slip right there.
It's only 10 o'clock. But for him to, like, nothing about him, and yet people just want his attention just because of how he looks, it is proving a point. And it's just proving a very maddening point, and I think that's why I'm currently really unsure about this show. Episode 1, so there's a lot more that obviously has to.
It gets better.
Help. I believe you. Just not
now. I would not take comfort in a drama if I didn't think it had something redeemable about it.
Right. Well, that's how I see where you're feeling about Goblin, except Goblin I feel like was a lot more maddening.
Goblin was unique in that, like, the plot, it was slightly more dynamic because it had the mythical theme to it.
Right.
This is more of just a modern day rags to riches story, so it's not necessarily as layered as, like, Goblin was.
Right.
Especially with the double timelines and everything going on there. But it's just kind of a fun, easy watch. Just why I like it.
That's fair.
Hang in there.
Yeah,
it'll be okay.
There are characters that I am currently very unsure of. Like, Sua, no, just stop it.
Do you have a character of the hour?
I
know it's an odd question.
It is an odd question. Her best friend, Hyun, because she's a true best friend. No, I'm not going to tell you that you're pretty. Quit fishing for compliments. Knock it off. But, and then helping her out with the dancing. Don't act coy. Don't act like this because you'll be considered obnoxious.
Yeah, don't be insincere. Just
be.
Try hardest.
Yeah, do your best. Be you.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. Like, that's what a best friend is supposed to do. They'll call you out. They'll tell you when you're being ridiculous. And then in the same breath, they'll be like, you got this. They'll be encouraging. And so I think... Sorry.
I like her. I like her character a lot.
She's very sweet.
I like how you said she's a true best friend because that stays throughout the rest of the series. I love her. They asked me to be the rapper for my team. I gotta go. Peace. Just to be different, I Hyun Jung would be one of my characters. I think that KyungSeok is probably my other, because I feel like of all of the people that we saw in this particular episode, he is the most honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we had a couple other flashbacks with him of just like walking through, and there's zero context. Wow. We're bad. There's no context to these flashbacks, and so clearly there's more developing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is.
Because it's only episode 1. But
it's cute. If nothing else, it's cute, Joe.
I believe you.
Yes. Just hold on to that thought. Anything else? Make sure to go check out the Ashley T on Instagram. We're pretty excited about it.
I need to do more videos.
She slaved over that intro, y'all.
I am very technologically challenged, and I am trying my hardest to figure out how to edit.
She does fine.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Real bestie. All right,
it's season 3.
Season 3. We'll catch you next time with episode 2. Bye.
Like what you're hearing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any new episodes. We'd love to connect with you on our Instagram at The Kdrama Show. For more behind-the-scenes content, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Links are in the show notes. Thanks for hanging out with us on The Kdrama Show with Ashley and Kim, and we'll see you next time.